Here with head football coach Steve Johnson. And coach, a 62-27 victory over Augsburg last Saturday. Really saw your team finish for the whole 60 minutes, but talk about what you saw out of your team's performance.
Well, beginning the game, Augsburg kind of threw off all restraints and had a few tricks up their sleeve. But there are things that we should handle well, and there were points where I didn't think we did. I think we kind of let them get under our skin a little bit, and that's something that we're going to correct, and that we've got to be, that, it's a form of toughness that you have discipline to walk away when you should, and, if you're going to be, kind of anything extracurricular has to happen. I guess it wouldn't be extra, but it's got to happen in the play. Prove yourself during the play, walk away, and, and so we got better at that, so I'll say that that's a great thing, but that was one thing early that I thought, come on. Yeah. Let's get going. And we kind of went in, expectations can be a big, we're kind of expecting this and this and this. And then when it doesn't come, are you disappointed or do you work through that and tough out and find out that there's even more to it? And we had one of our guys give a talk about that Friday, Dalton Crum. He talked about not wanting to come here to be a scout, ends up being a scout and finds out that there's joy in serving and being that guy, and not even just serving, but being part of everything. And so we've got to understand that as men and working forward. And so those expectations, when they aren't realized, especially right away, it's going to come out even better, because that's, we trust in the King, and that's how it is, and that's how we're called to live, and that's how it's just truth, in my opinion. But back to the game. We did some good things and we did some poor things. We had a couple of breakdowns, and first one was my fault. They got an onside kick on us, and there was something that I noticed in our alignment that I thought that they'd notice, and in the mix of last week I didn't relate that to our guys, and so they caught us there. So lesson learned, and then they got away with a punt thing that wasn't. We had it covered, and we should have made a tackle, and so that one didn't trick us even. It was a bad thing. But then they ran a play that you can't run, and the refs didn't catch it, and so they have a 70-yard touchdown, and it is what it is. But
right.
We feel like we've got a lot of touchdowns. We've had 7 touchdowns called back this year on calls that were pretty little, and then here's a thing that's completely illegal, and they get to keep a touchdown. So it's like, when it rains, it pours. But those are things that we have to fight through those things to do it, and that's what the guys did. They, with all those things happening, we're still up by 8 at the half, and then we had 27 unanswered at the end, and guys just made plays. Gunnar Bloom is really a great running back and did a great job. Again, Jake Marsh is leading us well, but he was 15 for 18, and I'm really big into efficiency with quarterbacks, and I don't like any balls, hitting the ground, unless it could have been picked. So I want, those are the things that are important, and those things were good. And I think defensively we had a couple things that where they got a couple of big plays on us, and we've got to eliminate that. But by and large, we shut down the run and then contained them, and then kind of got into a rhythm there too. So
we'll talk about. Obviously you talked about all the ways in which Augsburg gave you a little fits here and there, but it seems like your offense really went toe to toe and really left them in the dust in the second half. How were you able to be so balanced on Saturday? 294 yards rushing, 270 yards passing. That's really what you want to see in your offense.
It really is. I didn't know those stats until just now, but we love that. That's really hard. If you're a defensive guy and you're thinking, holy cats, they can do, all that stuff. And that we have some really good athletes, and Johnny Pitlack, Jackson Canfield, Bryce Marcourt, and the receivers, and Drew Neville, and holy cats, and there's more.
Right.
And then Gunnar Bloom and Josh Warness just made some great blocks and runs, and Brady Bomsta. And so we've kind of got a lot of good guys there, but it kind of depends on the offensive front. And the offensive front did a great job dominating those things, and so we were able to move the ball, pretty well. The worst thing that we did was we put the ball down on the ground on our own 5. They scored. We gave them a touchdown there. Mm-hmm. They got another touchdown on the play that wasn't supposed to be, yep. and then on a halfback pass. And so you take that away, they got 6, and you can't take that away, but if you did. And so, but we also scored one on defense where Dawson Brown jumped a bubble. that we had a feeling that they were going to do that, play there, and Dawson's just, I mean, the ball wasn't even a third the way to the receiver, so you had to make quite a catch there and play, and it was almost comical. So that was pretty fun. He's just playing great.
Well, and let's talk about the effort of your defense, causing 5 turnovers on the day. That was a huge reason to your success. Obviously, this year, you haven't had as many fumbles as you would like, but 3 fumbles and 2 picks, obviously a big day for your defense.
Yeah, I think that's something that defensively that we're, those things kind of, that's like a rally in baseball.
Yeah.
When somebody starts hitting, everybody starts hitting, and when we start getting turnovers, we start getting turnovers, and unfortunately, it took us, a few 4 or 5 games in to start getting them, and then you start looking for them and you start gaining them, and we did a great job on defense with those turnovers, but also just being fundamentally sound, and we want to eliminate missed tackles, and don't give them anything that's easy, and that's key.
Well, this week you get Hamlin, and this is obviously your season finale. So does anything change in your final week of preparation, or is it just you want to go 1-0 again in this week and take down the Pipers?
The one thing that there's a change to where we don't want there to be any change. We're going to look for, we're going to probably go over to Mounds View a couple of days this week and practice because we need the light. Yeah. And then and they're turf over there, and we're playing at Hamlin, so there's turf. So those things happen, but really want to, we talk about run to the fight, stay in the fight, and finish. And this is, we want to finish strong and, not kind of, in 2 weeks or even in a month, we're not going to be thinking the same way. So as coaches, we got to really, kind of, be, you can't be thinking ahead, and you never want to anyway. But we want to go 1-0, and we feel like let's honor the seniors and everybody else every day. So, we don't want to do anything goofy that way, but we also do want to, recognize those guys, and, all the seniors have an important part anyway, so that's not a big deal.
Well, you have a chance to go 5-3 in the conference, but you have to go through the Pipers, and obviously they have a great quarterback in Justice Spriggs. How do you stop the Pipers this week, and what's it take to be successful?
Well, the Pipers, they've been getting better and better and better, and Chip's done a great job with those guys, and they're really good. They have a good football team, and, they've gained confidence. And Spriggs is really good, and Campa real good receiver. They've got a lot of weapons, and so we're going to have our hands full defensively, and then offensively we just need to make plays, and we need to do what we do, and play solid, and really play Bethel football and do things right, and have kind of a tenacity that is palpable, but also a poise in the midst of that isn't over the top and draws penalties or takes anything away from just being a bunch of guys that love the Lord, love football, love each other, and then kind of that means that you play really hard on Saturday.
Well, Coach, we're looking forward to another week ahead. Wish it wasn't the last, but we're hoping that you go out on top. All right.
And you too.
Thanks,
Can't wait.
Coach.
Go Cubs.